Partial Cloverleaf is the best interchange for getting cars on and off the highway. In the last video, I covered the Cloverleaf interchange, and we talked about how good it is and how symmetrical, but also its problems. It has an issue with traffic weaving. The Partial Cloverleaf solves this and is actually being used to replace the Cloverleaf in many places as an implement to get traffic on and off the highway. Today I want to show you how to build the Partial Cloverleaf and how to implement it in your city effectively. If you decide that building the Partial Cloverleaf isn't right for you and you'd rather just download the asset from the Steam Workshop, that's okay. I've got you. It's linked down in the description. Last night live on YouTube, I was able to build the Partial Cloverleaf and get the asset uploaded with input from viewers. I stream twice a week, so feel free to come by if you'd like to check out a live stream. Here we have the point where our highway is going to meet the arterial and allow traffic on and off using the Partial Cloverleaf. Let's just get crazy. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to be using two-way highway for part of the ramps. I know I want our loops to be 7 by 7. The way to figure out where the loop is going to go is I'm going to measure from the arterial 7 units up, but I'm also going to add 4 onto that because we're going to do something unique over here. So we've got our 11 units up, 7 units over. The numbers will change based on how big you want your interchange to be. But this is the 7 plus 7 loop that I was talking about. 7 by 7. Very good. And I'm going to connect it right here in just a moment, but let's get rid of this for now because we're going to end up reworking the bridge anyway. So that 4 unit bit is actually this right here. So we just want a bit of straight road before it connects to the arterial because it looks a bit weird when you connect the... I mean, let me show you. If you just connect the 7 by 7 loop directly to the arterial without a bit of... like, that right turn looks pretty bad, in my opinion, so that's why we add on a few units, 3 or 4 units of straight road there. Makes enough sense to me. And let's grab this again. This is just the vanilla 6-lane road. You could also do this with a 4-lane road, or even a 2-lane road if you really wanted to. Our overpass is going to be 10 units towards the middle. Once again, this will change depending on how you want to build it. And I want to keep this grounded for realism. It's nice to use what's called the cut and fill method, where you reduce the height of the underpass and don't use bridges unnecessarily. So I'll end up reducing the height of the underpass shortly. This piece can be elevated, of course. 12 units across, and then 10 more units grounded. Hit the home button to go back to ground. Easy enough. Easy enough. For this part, to complete the loop and connect it to the highway, we're going to grab our highway ramp. Using the freeform road tool, you can go in and go straight off the end. And we're going to do 1 less than the actual distance. So 7 by 7 is what the curve is supposed to be. But to make that a little gentler and make the textures a bit more agreeable at the connection, we'll do a 6 by 6 or 49 meter connection there on both sides. Great. So that solves the textures for this area, but this part still has texture issues. So grab Move It and just click one of the segments and hold Control and just drag it out a little bit. This one I dragged down slightly. Holding Control gives you a much finer control over the whole thing. But it fixes that overlapping texture there. That road is backwards, so let's flip it so we don't forget later. Very nice. So that is the loop. There's also going to be a right turn exit that happens over here. And once we've done this whole thing can be imitated on the other side, no problem. All this takes is let's do a 45-degree connection there, just to make that node happen. Now that we know where that node is, we can easily use the freeform road tool. I want to come off it at 25 degrees, just because that's a nice amount. I don't want to come off it totally parallel to the road. I don't want to come off it too far to the right. Somewhere in between so we can get a nice consistent curve. 25 degrees looks good, holding Control using precision engineering. And that'll give us 25 degrees on both sides. Looks a bit weird, but we'll fix that in just a moment. We are also going to go up to 4 units, up to 4 lanes before getting to the interchange. I want this to be about 8 units long, 9 units. Let's get rid of a bit of that. So I'm going to have a bit of runway of 4-lane road here. And that is just for lane math reasons. So the way this is going to work is the whole thing goes up to 4. So we start at 3 lanes, go up to 4 lanes, 1 lane exits. Love that for the right turn. Then we continue under this very low overpass at 3 lanes. We lose 1 intentionally, so let's go down to 2 lanes using our mass transit 2-lane highway. The 4-lane highway and the 2-lane highway are both included in mass transit. Very nice. So down to 2-lane. Then immediately after this one departs, that 2-lane goes back up to 3-lane, and that is the end of the interchange. I'll end up replicating that on the opposing side. So while I'm thinking of it, let's go through and use Node Controller to kind of sure this up. You can see everything looks a bit off right now. So starting on this end, what I want to do is align the left side of the 4-lane road, the 4-lane highway, with our 3-lane highway twice. So we're going to move both of those nodes ever so slightly, and that will give us our nice exit lane. So once we do intersection marking tool here, these 3 lanes will be straight through. This one is added and becomes the right turn exit lane. It's really nice to add a lane beforehand for realism reasons. And of course, continuing with Node Controller, click each node, hold Shift, align with the road. That one's already aligned, so we don't need to do it. And what I'm going to do on just about all of the nodes, once I've shifted them, once I've shift-clicked to align them to their wider roads next to it, I'm going to reduce this all the way, reduce all of the offsets to 0, hit Make Ends Straight, and then holding Shift, I'm going to use the scroll wheel to bring this up to 20 meters, and that'll give us a nice, kind of smooth exit curve. Very good. The way to fix this one is very similar. We're going to shift-click this end here. Very nice. We're going to reduce the whole thing all the way. Make Ends Straight. That already looks a whole lot better. I would say that this curve is a bit tight for my purposes, so let's bring this one up to 16. So the red node will bring it up to 16, which is the width of this road. So that's kind of a nice number to work with. And this one, we're going to try to eyeball it and match it. Maybe it's 21, maybe it's 22, but now we have a nice smooth right turn there. Going down the line, same thing here. Shift-click the ends to align them to the wider road. Reduce all the way, make ends straight. This one, I'm going to just do 10 meters out on the red one. We don't need to do the 20 meters we did here. 10 will suffice. Same thing on this side. Shift-click on all the ends to kind of make that curve a little nicer. Reduce, make ends straight, and 10 meters away on the road that we're merging to. What that accomplished, similar to that first section, now these 2 lanes go straight through. So realigning that really makes a big difference in terms of looks. Functionality-wise, City Skylines doesn't care, but looks-wise, I care. And the way we fix this final node is the same thing. So this is the wider road, so we'll shift-click the narrower roads, align them to the wider road so that the lanes match up, reduce it all the way, looks good, make ends straight, and that's it. All this needs is a bit of intersection marking tool to complete the picture, but replicating this on the other side will complete the build of the interchange. Now that both sides are done, I want to get the heights correct because it's looking pretty low there. 5 meters is not enough. So generally what I recommend doing is making two roads or figure out how many heights you'll need, how many levels the interchange is. In this case, it's a 2-level interchange. We already know that our high point is this overpass here. So you can always do plus 5 meters there. And then the low point, this will be our low point here below the overpass. Using Move It, we're going to adjust that to object height and click our low template. Ooh, okay. There's a bit of fixing that may need to happen on this, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Node Controller is our friend there. But that's basically it. Let's see. We can try to slope these, but I don't think there's much sloping to be had. The solution here is really to start your slope back here if you want to. In this case, I want to keep this self-contained, so I'm just going to start the slope where the interchange kind of begins. Yeah, it's a 7% grade. If we wanted to reduce that grade, we could start back here. So just keep that in mind if you want to change the grade of the intersection. That's very doable with Network Multi-Tool. Looks good to me. These can be fixed with Node Controller, like I said. I've already flipped this to Bend. Initially, these always start on Custom for the most part. And Custom will look like that, and usually it has crossings across the side. And that's okay, that's not terrible. Custom. Not terrible, but I don't like that the median stops. So what I'm going to do is flip them both to Bend, as they were. And to fix the weirdness there, I'm just going to play with the offset of both. There we go. Looks like 12 meters has a reduced enough offset to fix that texture, so I'll just match that on this side and see if it works. 12 meters. Nope, 12 meters does not look good there. 11 does, though. So whatever works. Every situation's a little different. The textures can be a bit inconsistent in-game at times. For interchanges, I also like doing lane connectors in Traffic Manager. So let's get into that. So for really the only lane connectors that you should need are on these main intersections. So on a B ParClo like this one, this is a B4 ParClo with the way that the quadrants that the loops are in. The right turn can have its own lane if you've done the lane math like me. That right turn goes there. These two go straight across. This lane is a left turn, which goes into this. Of course, you can change the lane math here by using an asymmetrical 2+1 road if you want. I'm just going to opt to have them consolidate into one lane. This ramp will get its own lane. These two go straight across. That's pretty good. You can always tell them to keep to their lanes if you want by hitting Control-S repeatedly, of course. Changes that as well. I'm actually going to do it here. It's up to you how you want to do this. You could potentially allow for a U-turn if you don't do this, and you let this lane get to the middle to go back to the left side to make that left. But that's basically it for the lane connectors. Just do the same thing on the other side. I also recommend turning on junction restrictions. Turning off the crossings across the arterial, it's simply not necessary. We do want pedestrians to cross at these points to get across the interchange, but not across the arterial, because there's going to be a lot of traffic flying by there, and that's just not necessary. You can also hit these with Enter Blocked Junction if you want. That's not going to hurt in this situation. So that green button there, toggle that Enter Blocked Junction button. And that should do it for the intersections. I also recommend, just in general, go to your options. If you're using Traffic Manager, hit T to go to TMPE, and turn your policy on for Enable Highway-Specific Lane Merging Splitting Rules. That's crucial. I recommend turning that on all the time. And what that really does is it does this without having to do that everywhere. So it forces traffic to keep to its lane when it's merging. It forces traffic to keep to its lane when it's splitting. But you don't actually have to draw that in. It's just there in the background on all of your highways and all of your interchanges. Looking real pretty with all the markings installed. Very happy with that. Now, as far as functionality goes, it is passing traffic, it's working fine, but for realism's sake, let's at least add some yields. I would say this is the easy way to manage traffic on this, but not the right way. So first we'll do the easy way. The yield really has to go in at this left turn. That is the only conflict point on the whole thing, actually. And you can see that if you notice wherever you see a line crossing other lines on your lane connectors, that's where the conflict lives. And by extension, a bit of conflict here as well, but that's okay. We'll have this vehicle yield to oncoming traffic. So the easy way is just to throw in a yield on both sides and call it a day. But here at Yumble Corp, we're not into doing it the easy way. No, no, no. We do it the hardest way possible. That's not true. But that's an okay solution, but with this 6-lane road, I would strongly recommend setting up a traffic light if you want this to be somewhat realistic. So I'm going to pause the game, go to your timed traffic light in Traffic Manager in the window there. If you don't see that, you have to turn it on in the Traffic Manager settings, just to be clear. But we're going to click both of the nodes. So select nodes. I've selected the two nodes that are going to be coordinated together to make this work, and we're going to set up timed traffic light. I'm going to hit add step. I'm going to change the min time and the max time to 9 seconds. Let's just, or maybe 8 seconds. Let's do this. 8 seconds. Add, or excuse me, we want to edit that. So the way that this kind of breaks down is some of these will have to be separated. So on, like from this angle, the approaching traffic that has to make this left, let's hit change mode, because the straight through traffic can always be green. So you'll see it better from this angle. The straight through traffic, these 2 lanes, can always be green. The traffic coming from the highway can always have a green light. And the traffic coming from the highway on the other side can also have a green light. That kind of encompasses the beauty of the B ParClo. So a B for ParClo, the traffic from the highway, so making a right, never has to stop, and also going around the loop and making a left, they never have to stop either. The only traffic that has to stop is all on the arterial. So that is the benefit of the B ParClo. I'm going to get this set up like this on both sides. So let's set up the cycles for this light, or the phasing for the light, rather. I'm going to make the first phase allow traffic in. So we're going to allow traffic into the interchange, which means that this left turning traffic, this lane that's building up, has to stop. That's the only conflict on the whole thing, and it happens on both sides. So let the traffic in. Left traffic remains stopped. Left turning traffic. Save. Add step, and we're going to flip that to the opposite. Stop the traffic from coming in. Allow the traffic to turn left. Same thing on this side. Stop the traffic from coming in. Allow the left turning traffic to go. Add. And you can play with the timings. I've opted for an 8-second timing. I may change that, but that is essentially it. That deals with all the conflict that this has to offer. Let me let this run for a minute, and I'll show you how it's working. It is working exactly how it's supposed to. I did tinker with the numbers a little bit. Let me show you what's changed, but the signals, the phasing of it has not changed at all. Pause it, hit stop on that. So for the through traffic, that first cycle, where we have a green on the outside and a red for left turning traffic, I opted to change it to minimum time of 10 seconds, maximum time of 30 seconds. Leave it on more waiting than driving, which means that if 10 seconds has elapsed, if more traffic is waiting than driving, then the cycle will change, meaning if traffic waiting to make that left turn has stacked up sufficiently, then the light will flip and allow the left turning traffic to go. I also turned the flow sensitivity down to 0.3, which makes for very long green and red phases. So I want lots of traffic to flow through in the first cycle, it's much longer, and allow that left turning traffic to stack up until there's more waiting than driving. Then it'll flip to cycle 2, state 2, which is the opposite one, where left turning traffic is allowed to turn and the through traffic must stop on both sides. I opted for a very short phase on this one, so 3-second minimum, maximum of 8 seconds. If there was more left turning traffic, I would increase the maximum as necessary, go to 10 or 12 seconds. I left this on more waiting than driving turned the flow sensitivity down to 0.3. So same sort of thing. If there's there's pretty much always going to be more waiting than driving, but there's really not that much left turning traffic in this situation. So just to see how that ends up working out, 10 seconds will have elapsed in just a moment. I have a video about timed traffic lights if you're a bit lost, so feel free to watch that more specific video for traffic light timings. But you'll see the left turning traffic is going, they're still flowing, and the flow has now stopped, so this will flip. What you want it to do, you want to have it set up so that the light changes when that entire lane has drained. So once those left turns are done, you really want to have it set up so that the light will change to continue allowing that through traffic through, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And of course on the highway side, they get through for free due to grade separation, so that's beautiful. All the conflict is handled at these points. It's very, very efficient. As I said earlier, if you just want to do yields, I understand. That's okay. But lights, if it has this much traffic and you're using this many lanes over the top, then lights would be the better option as well. Everyone, that is all I've got for today. I really appreciate you hanging out and listening to me talk about the Partial Cloverleaf. I hope you use it in your cities. Feel free to download it from the workshop if you don't want to build it, but I really look forward to seeing your builds in the Discord. Feel free to join our community Discord. Certainly subscribe here if you'd like. I make a couple videos a week if you like learning about city skylines and discussing traffic and, you know, whatever we're doing. Feel free to subscribe. And I stream twice a week on YouTube. So at this same page here, come back on, right now it's Mondays and Thursdays. Feel free to come by for a live stream if you want to get in the chat. That's all I've got for today. Everyone, thank you for hanging out. I've been Yumble. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video.